Government is getting a helping hand in the classroom. It's now launched the National Education Collaboration Trust. The idea is to improve education by bringing together teachers, parents, businesses and NGOs. It's hoped the trust will help achieve the education targets outlined in the National Development Plan. The key focus areas are human capacity, school management, district support and mutual accountability between schools and communities. Some advocacy groups have welcomed the trust, saying it could keep government on its toes, but others are not sure it will have the desired effect. Let's talk now to Mark Heywood, Executive Director of Section 27. Mark, thank you very much for coming in.
Good morning.
Firstly, you are one of those who think that the trust is a good idea, but what will make it work and succeed?
Well, yes, I mean, we've welcomed it critically. I think that it's a good thing for the Department of Basic Education to sit with business, to sit with NGOs, to sit with the trade unions that represent teachers, and to try to implement plans together. That's a good thing. But what we've also said is that, we have many councils, many committees, many forums. We don't just need another talk shop. What this trust and what its council need to do very quickly is identify what are the priority interventions, which things can be fixed fast, and then make a tangible and visible difference in our schools. So we have high expectations, very high expectations, but it must be felt, not just talked about.
Okay, I understand Section 27 was not invited to be part of this collaboration trust. In your view, is that correct?
Well, I think everybody who can contribute to basic education should be part of this trust. We certainly weren't invited to the launch. We haven't had any direct communication since then. But I've said, look, let's not worry about that too much. Let's look at the substance of what this trust is going to do. We will do what we can to assist it by all means.
Okay, now the combined education budget of South Africa runs into several hundreds of billions of rands. I think it's about 210 billion. Yep. How is it that we have so much money available for education in South Africa and we are not getting things right?
Well, I think it's a combination of gross mismanagement within the system at many, many levels. There's a big problem of corruption within the education department, and there's a lack of coordination. I mean, it's shocking, as you said, 200+ billion rand, and yet I'm working with a school at the moment in Limpopo that hasn't had a roof since January over the classrooms. How do you tell those people that the Limpopo budget alone is 25 billion rand? Something is going wrong, and that's why we have to track the money.
Can such a trust, in your view, help to make the Limpopo scenario become history in this country?
Well, it should say to itself that its job is to make the Limpopo scenario history. It has a council that's made up of all the role players. They need to look at these provinces. They need to say, what is the worst performing province? What's the worst performing school? Let's get in, let's fix these things.
Yeah, okay. What do you make of Helen Zille's comments? I mean, she said that the Basic Education Minister, Motshekga, is not solely to blame for what's happening in the education system at the moment, and that she's better than her predecessors.
Well, look, we can't hold one person responsible, but any minister of any government department accepts executive responsibility to fulfill the constitutional requirements. Now, in the case of education, the right to basic education say kids have a right to adequate quality schooling. They clearly don't have that. So clearly, Minister Motshekga is failing on one level. Whether she's better or worse than her predecessors, for me, is immaterial. We have to judge by outcomes and judge by delivery.
Okay. Just finally, I know I'm just all over the place now. You mentioned earlier that you were not invited, and you are not making an issue of it. Clearly, if you will be invited in future, will you take part in the trust?
No, certainly. I mean, no, we're not bothered about whether we formally sit on the council. We're bothered about the council delivering, being representative, being legitimate. If the council says, Section 27, we need your help in this particular way, or we want your advice in this particular way or that way, by all means, we want to get education sorted together with many, many other stakeholders.
Okay. Mark, thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's Mark Heywood from Section 27.
News that moves. eNCA.com.